Welcome to Caleb Watches Movies, the channel where this guy, Caleb, randomly selects one of the many movies that he owns and he watches and reviews it for you, except for today, because today is a very special day. Today is the 10-year anniversary of when I broke Gotham.
Yeah, something like that. Today is the 10-year anniversary of the final chapter of the greatest trilogy that has ever been made, in my opinion, and that is The Dark Knight Rises. It's my favorite trilogy. I watch it every single year. All three are fantastic Batman films. Batman Begins, of course, is the best Batman film to date, in my opinion. The Dark Knight changed the game for the entire genre and just for films altogether because it was so incredible and we had so amazing, fantastic performances from the actors involved, and then it was followed up with an amazing conclusion to again, my favorite trilogy out of all of them. Now, I know some people don't have a favorable review on this film, and I think that's a little unwarranted because this film was following up The Dark Knight. You know, how can you even comprehend living up to the shadow that that film has cast over the entire superhero genre? But this film, I think, does an incredible job. It's been a little bit since I've watched it, but I'm going to stop talking because this is a very long movie. Let's get into it. This is The Dark Knight Rises from 2012. It's its 10-year anniversary. Oh, it's starting. I remember when this film was announced, there was nothing else. Yes, 2012 had so many great superhero films like The Avengers that I just also did a watch along with that one as well. But this one was still the king of the mountain at that time. In my opinion, it still is. I think it's a better film than Avengers. It was definitely my favorite of that year. God, I love this trilogy so much. I love it. And I've already done my review of The Dark Knight. It was my 100th review on this channel. And then for Batman Begins, I did a little like Batman Begins on a budget, abridged version. Love this opening. Just the cracks in the armor. I love it.
I believed in Harvey Dent.
I believed in Harvey Dent too. He was one of my favorite parts of The Dark Knight. So we're continuing on. Gordon and Batman have this big lie that they have pulled over the eyes of Gotham. Now we're going to Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
They work for the mercenary. The Mask of the Man.
Bane. I believe it was after this movie that Littlefinger developed the Christian Bale Batman voice for his character in Game of Thrones. Because before this movie, he was fine.
First one to talk gets to stay on my aircraft.
What are you trying to get from him, though, Littlefinger? What are you trying to get? What are you trying to learn? Oh, okay, that's right. There is so much in this movie. There's not a wasted minute, and it's 2 hours and about 45 minutes. Not a single moment is wasted.
Or perhaps he's wondering why someone would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
I would think that too. Why not just let him fall to his death? You dumbass.
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
Tom Hardy is so frickin' great in this movie.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
God.
You're a big guy.
For you.
He conveys so much emotion with having his entire face covered. This whole opening stunt. You had to think, like, how are they going to top the heist from The Dark Knight? And I think they top it, actually, with this. Because this opening scene is incredible. Look at that look. It's just like, yeah, well, you're still coming with us. There's that percussion, that theme of this movie. The dun, 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 dun. There takes a little bit of getting used to his voice in this movie. Oh, this stunt is amazing. And it was all practical. They had a helicopter with this plane looking down. All these guys are there. They had, of course, there's CGI involved in some cases, but the majority of this is practical. And that's what's so great about the Dark Knight trilogy and the way Christopher Nolan directs. He tries to do as much practical effects in all of his films that he could possibly do without needing CGI. The wings, that's CGI, but I love how he just hangs there. Oh, and that's a great shot too. Love that. All to get this doctor that they try to build up and is really just no one. I've never seen this in IMAX though. I can only imagine that it's incredible. This scene is incredible in IMAX. And I believe they released this scene early, like they did with The Dark Knight, that opening scene. They released this one, I think, with like Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, I think, is what they did. And I think at that moment that they've figured out, like, well, we should probably ADR Tom Hardy's voice because it's people aren't understanding it. It's hard to understand here at first. You got to get used to it.
Yes, the fire rises.
And that's the tagline of this movie, The Fire Rises.
Now's not the time for fear. That comes later.
Oh, that looks like fun. That opening scene is tremendous. It's the best opening scene of this entire trilogy. I put it over the clown heist, the bank heist with the school bus, because you have to wonder, like, well, you saw the school bus pull out of the bank, so I mean the plan doesn't make sense. This one though was just freaking incredible. Usually I record these watch-alongs in the morning, so I'm drinking coffee, but tonight's the evening, so I got my gin and tonic all ready to go here. Oh, God. Oh. I barely put tonic water in that. Wow. This is gonna be fun. Now, I know a lot of people have issues with this film, especially because Batman doesn't show up for so long. But that's the legacy of Batman. The idea behind the Dark Knight trilogy is the legacy and the inspiration that Batman gives to the people of Gotham, right? That's the idea. Anyone could be Batman. Anyone could be that symbol. It could have been any one of you on the street. Could have been your friends. Could have been your parents. Could have been anyone. So I know a lot of people didn't like that this film takes place like 8 years after and he stopped being Batman. Like, they wanted to see Batman still trying to be Batman and do Batman things. And I feel like I felt the same way. Oh, the truth.
Maybe the time isn't right.
Oh, Gordon, Batman. It's that white lie, right? That rewards people. It eventually comes back to bite you in the ass. If you tell the truth, then everyone goes free. And the lie has been so far gone. It's been 8 years. You can't go, you can't go back. Because then everyone is released. You put the phone in the west wing. You go up the staircase. And you put the food on the table. Oh, God, Daggett. I forgot about Daggett. I hate him in this movie. He is so over the frickin' top. Oh, my God, he is so annoying. Foley is a character from the comics. I know him from the No Man's Land series. He was like a cowardly cop during that whole event. So those characteristics definitely show up in here. Now, I'm not a fan of Anne Hathaway. I'm not. But that's what's so great about Christopher Nolan. In this movie, how he directs her choices that she makes, I actually like her. And I enjoy her. And she's one of the best parts of this movie. I remember watching this for the first time thinking, like, son of a bitch. Nolan, you made me care about Anne Hathaway. Well done. It's such a great shift of how she's playing it right now to the true Selina Kyle. There's the breath.
Oops.
Her posture changes a little bit.
It was uncrackable.
Tone of voice shifts.
I'm afraid
This is fantastic.
Good night, Mr. Wayne.
In frickin' Heels, she did that. I don't remember Bruce being hurt at the end of The Dark Knight. I remember, I guess he was limping, running to the Bat Pod. But I don't remember, like, he was so hurt, like his knee was so hurt that he needs a cane. This is your idea, sound the alarm on my cocaine. Oof. Ooh. I think I may have made that a little too strong. Whew.
I know exactly who he was. He was the Batman.
Oh, and that pays off so greatly in the end. He doesn't want to know. It doesn't matter to him. He's Batman. I don't care the man behind the mask. It doesn't matter to me. That mask, that symbol, that's all that I need. That's all that matters. It does bother me that he had Wayne Manor reconstructed and put together like all of these secret hideaways into the Batcave, and he never used it. So I wish they would have tweaked the story a little bit where Batman stays Batman during these 8 years. But, you know, I'm not writing the script, so that's on them, and I go along with it. And I accept it. You know, like, he has this whole badass computer down in the Batcave, And he never uses it.
Fascinating. You two should exchange notes over coffee.
So now you're trying.
That's foreshadowing.
You hung up your cape and your cowl, but you didn't move on. You never went to find a life.
That's true.
I would look across the tables and I'd see you there. But we both know that you'd made it.
The writing of this film is fantastic. I don't care what anyone says, because that's the moment right there that pays off in the end. They tell you the story so early on, and the movie is so long that by the time we get through the Battle of Gotham and Bane and everything, you completely forget about it until it comes back around. Nolan's a master of it, foreshadowing and bringing things around full circle. John Blake. Of course, when this film was announced and his character name was announced, there was so many theories going around that, Blake, it's Tim Drake. He's Robin, of course, right? He has to be Robin. And they kept saying, no, he's John Blake. He's a detective.
Gotta work, you're gonna find in the sewers.
I don't know, ask the Ninja Turtles. Dramatic look off. Yeah. Look off into the distance and say a very foreshadowy, glorious thing. I don't know. The first time I ever saw this actor, the right-hand man of Daggett, I guess. And the first time I saw him, immediately popped into my head that he has such a punchable face. I really want to punch you. This henchman is such a frickin' dumbass. I love her in this movie. She's a badass. Love her.
I got the congressman.
Do you? Okay, Blake, let me explain copping to you. Like, I'm not a cop, but... Okay, you say you have the congressman, and then you just left the congressman. You no longer have the congressman, Blake. You hothead. That Gordon loves this. It's the most action he's seen in a long time. I hate Foley. I hate him as a character. He's such a freaking coward. But even he gets a payoff in this film. Everything in this film, like, the film is 2 hours and 45 minutes long, but everything that is shown in here plays a part and is important to the end result. There is nothing in here that's like, ooh, it's artistic and we're taking our time. No, this film moves along. It clips along, and everything, every scene that we go to, every character motivation, every character choice plays into the very end of the film. There's nothing here that's, like, maybe we could have cut this. I don't think you could have cut this film.
Why are you here? Touch him, then I will kill you.
And he still does it anyway. That's how scary this guy is as a villain. And I love that they make Bane into an intelligent person. I love this monologue. It gives the backstory we need for Blake as to why he is who he is. That's how grief works for a lot of people. It affects you, it hurts you, and everyone's caring at first, and they say they understand. No, I know how you feel. I've gone through the same thing that you've gone through. But then eventually, everyone kind of says, like, oh, you just gotta move on. In other words, like, I'm tired of hearing you talk about how sad you are. Something a lot of people forget about Batman. They see the billionaire. They see the kid. Yeah, his parents died, but he's a freaking billionaire. He's taken care of. He's an orphan. And being an orphan, especially knowing your parents and then having them taken away from you, like, no one can fully get over that, right? Regardless of how big your bankroll is. John Daggett. Yeah, he plays a part in this film. He's an important character. Sound design of this film, I'm just realizing how great it is. Just the echoiness of it. This mansion is hollow. Batman, Bruce, is hollow. He's missing Rachel. He's missing just a purpose again. This is the part from the first teaser. Ah, yes, the Lamborghini. So inconspicuous. Much less subtle. That's right, he uses EMP in this film as his big weapon. It's a great weapon, I love it. I love that little touch of she comes in wearing the mask. Kind of going off of what Bane said before, no one cared who I was till I put on the mask. These are things I catch up on. Another foreshadowing, that's a Ra's al Ghul line. Balance to the world. That's what the League of Shadows is, right? They try to restore balance. And that plan of Ra's al Ghul was never carried out in Batman Begins. Almost was, but it wasn't. That's why this film is not so much a sequel to The Dark Knight. It's more of a sequel to Batman Begins. The Dark Knight is kind of just like that's the Empire Strikes Back. It's its own grandiose thing. Whereas this one kind of plays into the original. Still has that same aesthetic too. Again, kind of referencing Batman Returns when Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle are dancing in that film.
Takes a little time to get back in the swing of things.
Whenever Alfred has a chance to say "I told you so," Alfred just loves it. It is a confusing story plot of you put all of your budget, your R&D budget, into this one project, and then you don't use it. And your excuse is, well, it's too much for one person to control. Then why build it? Where does he get all of those toys? Love the design of the Bat. Looks so cool. The overall aesthetic of the tech in these films is wonderful. I don't like the name, though. Calls it the Bat. It's the Batwing. Call it the Batwing. Oh, it's the magic knee brace. Should have given a couple of these to Stone Cold Steve Austin. His career would have been longer.
You're afraid that if I go back out there, I'll fail.
I'm afraid that you want to.
Well, he wants to die in the heat of battle. And that's where... That's why he's not able to defeat Bane and to do the things in the first part of this movie. Because he doesn't have that fear of failing. Because he wants to. There's a side of him that he wants to fail. The emotion, the terror, the fear that he conveys by having almost all of his face covered. Tom Hardy is fantastic here. He is fantastic.
Have to go mobile.
I love Bane's lines in here. Like, I guess the lines from Batman and Robin with Arnold Schwarzenegger are so iconic, and there's all of it is just one-liners. It's just freeze one-liners. Bane has, like, every line of dialogue is a one-liner in here, but it's well written, and it makes sense for his character, and it's believable. But every line of his is a one-liner that you can just use randomly throughout your life. Time to go mobile. Oh, I'm Daggett. I play a part in this film. I'm Daggett. And that Batpod, I don't think they were planning it to work as well as it did. Because I know with the bat suit, they had designed the cape to retract into itself because they were worried that the cape was going to get caught up in the wheels. But when they were testing it out, it actually worked perfectly, that the cape would flutter behind it and never got caught. Yeah. The Batpod, I don't think they thought it was going to work as great as it does. It's amazing how liquor works. Like, at first, it's like, especially if you haven't had it in a while. And then as it goes down farther and farther, it gets easier and easier. Bum, 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 all the cops in all the places in all the world, coming after the Batman. You ain't gonna catch the Batman. No. You ain't gonna catch the Batman. No.
Like a rat in a trap, gentlemen.
Like, who says that? You may have the wrong animal there, sir. I love her mask. She looks like Catwoman, but she's never mentioned as Catwoman. And the mask, the ears, it's the goggles. Love that. Love that choice. If any of you have not seen the Batman episodes that were created by Pete Holmes when this film was coming out, when he just parodied everything and did the Batman voice, those skits are hilarious. I could not stop watching them. The ultimate tool for a master thief with a record. I think I remember reading stories about how Anne Hathaway hurt a couple of stunt doubles.
No guns, no killing.
Where's the fun in that?
But Batman, you've killed in every film that you've been in, except for Batman and Robin.
So that's what that feels like.
Probably the biggest laugh I had in the theater was that line, watching this for the first time. I do like the choice to make Alfred in these films not really behind this project of Batman. Yes, he's there, he's going to support him because he loves him, but it gets to the point in this film where he's not going to do it anymore because he's already buried enough members of the Wayne family, and I get it. Plus, with where this story goes, you kind of have to get rid of Alfred, otherwise, either you kill him or he turns on him or something, so you just kind of have to get rid of him and then bring him back for the ending. Oh, I love this scene. Oh, there's no music. It's just them. I love this scene so much. It's just two actors that have been with each other really from the beginning. And their characters, they get to that emotional point where they love each other, but they need to leave each other.
What if before she died, she wrote a letter saying she chose Harvey Dent over you?
Or Alfred. I love that scene so much. Because you can tell the pain that they're both feeling. They both love each other. You can feel the pain. You can feel the love that they have between each other.
Long term, we may be able to prove fraud, but for now, You're completely broke.
Long term, you can prove fraud. I think you could check the camera footage of Wall Street, and you can see that it was fraud. I work for a credit union. That's a pretty easy get. Hey, I want to see the footage. Oh, hey, look, that was not Bruce Wayne scanning his fingerprint. Okay, this was fraud. Let's get him his money back. This is almost gone. And, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit. Should have eaten something. And you didn't even need a guy with 4 mechanical arms to help control the fusion. I guess I don't understand. If you had so much fear about someone turning this into a weapon, then why create it? I don't understand. It's the thing about Batman, though. He trusts no one. Have you seen Justice League Doom? Or the Tower of Babel, the comic that animated film was based on? He trusts no one. He has a backup plan for everything.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
What the hell is going on?
That line delivery, like, Nolan, did you watch this? What coaching did you give him on that line delivery? What the hell is going on?
Do you feel in charge?
I remember reading about that choice that he makes. Any other actor would grab him. Right, forceful, that's who Bane is. He simply puts his hand on his shoulder, and Daggett knows exactly what's about to happen. He caresses him, and it's like, my hand is here, you're not fighting me, and you're about to die. Your neck will break.
I'm sorry they took all your money.
No, you're not.
I think that was an improv line from what I remember reading about. We about to get some Bruce Wayne sex. Gotta get warm somehow. The billionaire has scars on her back, sir. Alright, stop thinking with your dick and think with your brain. Something's up with this broad. I mean, it's Marion Cotillard, so yeah, I would be mesmerized too. I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's do this. And then, like, maybe I'll think about it later on, but, you know, let's do this first, please. Let's do this several times. I'd be okay with that. Did you just bang and dash, Bruce? You frickin' jerk. Oh, I climbed to the top of this bridge for no reason. Just to look dramatic. Only for me to get down into the sewer. That's right. Oh, but it looked cool. And I love this whole part. The music drops out completely for the entire scene. Up until the very end when the battle's over.
Mr. Wayne.
Huh? Like, you didn't know? And of course, this is an iconic moment in the comic history of Batman, with Nightfall, where Batman gets his back broke, and then Azrael comes in and takes over.
You think darkness is your ally?
Yeah.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
He's a foreshadower. He's a narrator. And that's the worst type of fighter. The one that narrates it as it goes along. I'm about to kick your ass. I'm gonna do this. Then you're gonna be broken. Now the sound, now the music starts coming in.
Oh, your buddy!
Oh, and that's the iconic trailer image right there. And the poster image. Oh, love it. I love that Catwoman theme. Just the piano. I believe Hans Zimmer said that the inspiration was a cat just walking across piano keys. Da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da.
Girls gotta eat.
You have an appetite.
I stole a loaf of bread to feed my family, and it was miserable. Oh, Fantine. Les Mis. Later on in 2012. I love that. I love that eye roll. It's one of the best eye rolls I've seen in film. Just like, we can provide you protection.
I will feed its people hope to poison their souls. Then you have my permission to die.
Oh, and that extra added just pressure on his back. I wish there would have been, because Heath Ledger had passed away actually before the release of The Dark Knight. I wish there would have been a little moment in here, because the Joker never died in The Dark Knight. I wish there was a little moment where maybe they passed a cell where they were like, no, don't put her next to this one. And then maybe we hear the Joker laugh in the background, or we see a little nameplate on the door. Just something to just nod to the incredibleness that was Heath Ledger's Joker. Because he is still in this universe. He still exists. We just don't see him. And I think the original plan was to... the original script idea before he passed away was to do this film not make Heath Ledger the main villain, but have him like be on trial. Like we get to see the Joker's trial at one point.
Sorry, I didn't take you seriously.
Because you're an idiot, Foley. I love that aesthetic of this tunnel and of this hole, this pit. Metaphor for when he was a kid coming out of the pit as the young kid afraid of bats. You can tell that Gordon's a little out of it because he's sending every police officer down into the tunnels to get these people. Like, really? Every single cop? Not gonna have, like, backup or reserves just in case? In case anything happens? He's better than the majority of singers they get for the Super Bowl.
That's a lovely, lovely voice.
I take that back. That was the funniest line that everyone cracked up in the movie theater. Oh, I hate when Americans do that. The performer's not done. Stop cheering. Don't cheer until he is done. Why do you cheer on the last verse? Ugh. Americans drive me fucking crazy. Bane is not a fan of football. No, he's from overseas. Football is something else. So this is his take-back of the name football. And then this is where we start implementing little tiny elements of No Man's Land, which is my favorite run of Batman. I love that entire series. Touchdown? I think we'll forego the extra point and we'll just call it. Hey, we won. And in the comics, you had all of these different supervillains have a different section of the island. Poison Ivy had the park. Two-Face had a downtown section. Penguin had his own section. That's what made it so great. Batman and Gordon trying to take it back. Doesn't happen in here.
Jesus, Blake. Every cop in the city's down in those tunnels.
Yeah, because you're a dumbass.
This bomb is armed. This bomb is mobile.
It's hard to remember that. Okay, so the people of Gotham think, because they're told, if someone leaves or if someone comes in to help, someone, a citizen of the city, is going to trigger the bomb. You have to remember that the bomb is going to detonate in 5 months anyway, but the people don't know that. That's a hard thing as an audience member watching to kind of remember. It's like, wait, someone's help, they're going to detonate it, but it's going to go off anyway, so what's the point? Outside of, like, the main characters, Batman and Bane, everyone else is pretty much a freaking idiot.
People of Gotham, we have not abandoned you.
What does that mean?
Means they've abandoned you. You forget that Gordon's in this movie until this point, when Batman gets taken out. If you notice, as he tears the picture, he tears it down vertically to split Harvey Dent in two. Love the little detail. That's why this film had to happen, because it needed to tell the truth and to right the wrong at the end of The Dark Knight.
Storming Blackgate and freeing the oppressed.
You ask yourself if a civilization would do that, like if we would accept, like, yeah, let's let all the prisoners out. That makes sense, right? Even though, like, well, they're prisoners, they did bad things, we should probably keep them locked up. But we did elect Trump in this country for 4 years, so we'd do anything, I guess. Anything stupid like that. We could do something stupid like this.
Gotham will survive.
It's so hard to believe him as the audience member because he's lying. Lied the entire time. Kind of to go off of what Gordon did. Gordon and Batman, they lied to an entire city and they went along with it. Here comes Bane lying again and they buy it. Gothamites, they buy everything. I think since Inception, Nolan tries to do the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong twists at the end of his films. So the hidden truths in this film, it's kind of confusing. Are there any doctors out there, nurses out there? Is this how you fix a broken back? Protruding vertebrae? Is that how you do it? Oh, that's right. I love this cameo. My legs. I can stand up. My back pain is cured. I know a lot of people give this movie grief because of that. But it's like, this is a comic book film. This is a superhero film. Yeah, that happens. That happened in the comics. Like, just allow it to happen. This whole ending part is 5 months. It'll happen. What's your point of doing all the push-ups if you can't even get out of the bloody pit? Yes, you're building up your body, but you don't have the fear. You have taught yourself ever since you were a kid, and you decided to take on this project that you were going to forgo fear and put that fear, get that fear to establish itself onto your enemy. But you need to have that fear, Bruce. You need to have that pain and that fear of failing. That's what's going to help you. He's close. Ooh. How he did not die after just having his vertebrae put back into his spine. How that did not kill him. Again, it's reasons. It's a comic book film. I thought that did kill people. Like the first guy who did it, I thought that killed him. So when that happened in theaters, I was like, what? He dead?
No, I'm not afraid. I'm angry.
I know, that's the problem. You need the fear, Bruce. You'll need the fear. And hell, you don't even get to the top with this run. You fall halfway up. Bruce. Why do we fall? That's why I have that tattooed right here. You probably can't see it, but why do we fall? So we can learn to fly. I love this. That says right back there. This trilogy means the world to me. Because of lessons like that. Oh, and I love this track of Hans Zimmer. The music here, the building, the crescendo, the climax of the rising.
Is that me?
Rise.
Crescendo here is so freaking great. He takes his time because any wrong move and you're done. That's the fear. That's the fear that you need. Ah, and just an added touch. The bats. To remind you, fear is a good thing. Oh, God, I'm getting freaking goosebumps just listening to this again. You can do it. Come on. Of course he's gonna make it. He's freaking Batman. Can we just punch him? I just want to punch him. And there's the cameo. Cillian Murphy is in every Dark Knight film. See, in the No Man's Land comics, they had like bombs out in the river, so that if you did try to escape by boat, you couldn't. This is my second one, and I'm feeling pretty good. I think it's okay.
Foley, damn it!
Who cares? No one gives a shit about Foley. Come on. I love how Gordon just doesn't buy the idea that the trigger is with someone, a citizen in Gotham. He totally ignores it and doesn't believe it at all. Not even a little sliver of the possibility of that actually happening from Gordon. Kind of an idiot.
Never steal anything from someone you can't outrun, kid.
So someone should have told Jean Valjean that in Les Miserables. I love this entrance. Look at that. I know fans give this film shit about how he was able to get back into the city so quickly. Gordon, you idiot!
Death! By Exile.
Ooh!
Bring her to me.
Why? Hey guys, why did he ask that? Idiots! I am realizing just how idiotic all these people of Gotham are. Batman's the only one who's as intelligent, and Bane's also intelligent too. Oh, I just realized that was nice little symmetry happening with Bane's introduction when he had the hood on and then they took it off. Did the same thing with Bruce Wayne. Freaking Christopher Nolan. He's so good at bringing everything around and making everything symmetrical. I love symmetry in my films. Yes, we don't see a lot of Batman in the film, but again, this film is not about Batman. It's about the legacy and the influence that Batman has on a civilization. Those are the most effective Batman stories, is when you see the idea of Batman and what he stands for affect others and see other people helping others because of that. Ow! Ow! Ugh. Ow! 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 Ugh. Well, not now. I mean, you just lit the ice on fire, but you're still fine. I love that they finally used that in this film, because that's the poster for The Dark Knight, the building on fire and the Batman logo. We didn't get that though, so here they're like, let's give it. You know, it's the fire rises. Let's have the bat insignia on fire. That's another great thing I love about this trilogy. Every single film is different and has a different tone to it. Batman Begins was an origin story. Dark Knight was a crime, political, thriller, mob story. And then when they set out to do this film, their theme was war. It's a war film. This is a war film. So they could have done the thriller thing again that they did from The Dark Knight, but this series is about escalation and the escalating of what happens when a man dresses up as a bat. I'm a cop. I'm a cop. I'm a cop. I'm a cop. I love that they wait till the very last second to get this thing fixed. Batman is all about justice and pain and vengeance and fists, but it's inspiration. It's hope too. And right here, he inspires her to stay. That's a great shot. Love that shot. Hey, I'm Foley. I'm here. I have a character arc.
There's only one police in this town.
Grammatically, that makes sense, but that sentence just doesn't sound right. There's only one police in this town. I don't... It makes... it just doesn't sound right. Even though it is right. I don't know. I think majority of it is practical. Nolan loves his practicality. And there is a tangibility when it comes to practicalness in films. If everything is all CGI and you can tell it's all green screen, it could look good, but there is that disconnect. When it's practical, when you have people actually in the places like this, it makes it feel more real. Not the Greyhound. Save the Greyhound. Oh, yeah. Round 2, motherfuckers. Oh, let's do it.
I came back to stop you.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. I remember sitting in the theater for this film and just, like, my body was shaking just because I was just so excited. This film meant so much to me, and I was like, oh, just be good, and I want just the right things to happen. Actually, there were 3 things that I wanted in this film, and I'll talk about it at the end of the movie, because I don't want to spoil it in case any of you haven't seen this yet. I remember reading stories of them filming this, just doing so many different takes. During one of the fights, they were going through the choreography and they just stopped and just kind of fell into each other's arms, just laughing. Just because they were so tired. Oh, yes, here we go. He's fighting back. He has that fear. Now he knows to do that, to get that mask broken. You broke his mask before, now he's going to break your mask. Yeah. I love just the rabidness of Bane, because he's in so much pain right now, and he breaks through concrete. Yeah, look at him. Oh, it's so good. Where's the trigger? Where's the trigger? Where is it? Where is the trigger? Bet he was having some fun with his Batman voice at that point.
Then you have my permission to die.
Oh, I love it. It comes back around in Nolan films. And again, I like his voice. Putting on a mask, you can feel yourself change into that character once you establish a character for a mask.
He's not the child of Ra's al Ghul.
Ah!
I am.
Oh no! God, I remember when that happened. I was so happy. Because that was one of the things I wanted in this movie. I wanted her to be Talia. God, the editing here at the end is so great. Keeping everything just cutting in between and keeping the audience guessing. It's great. It's perfect. Bane is only the henchman once again. I love how Tom Hardy plays Bane. It could be so easy just to be all fists and fire. He places his hand softly on a shoulder. He cries at this moment. There's tenderness to him behind the ragefulness.
It's the slow knife, the knife that takes its time, that cuts deepest.
Huh? Yay, Gordon! Gordon did something! You know, at this point you gotta think, like, you have 11 minutes to escape this, get the bomb to Lucius, for him to reattach it to that thing that took time to detach itself. You gotta start thinking that it's like, this is not gonna happen.
If you take 1 step forward, we will shoot you. If you take 2 steps forward, we will blow the bridge.
I argue if he takes 2 steps forward after you shoot him, that's impressive, and you should reward him by letting him cross the bridge. That's my vote. Oh, I love this movie.
Shoot them all.
Aww. Sorry, Foley. I'm such an asshole.
You just have to imagine the fire.
The fire rises, bitch! She's inspired! Yeah, come on, let's give us some action. Been a very dramatic piece so far. Do some twirly twirlies. I love how these films, as they progress, that the action started taking place more in light, in the daytime. That way we can see everything, even though it is the Dark Knight. Look at that maneuver! What a maneuver! Huh? I love that that piece of music was the same music that was used at the end of Batman Begins, with the death of Ra's al Ghul. You okay? Yeah, you okay.
Work is done.
It really is the worst death in the history of movies. It was at this moment that I knew what was going to happen, and I reached for my wife's hand because I started to bawl in the theater.
A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders to let him know the world hadn't ended.
And that line makes the movie for me. God. That's the definition of a hero. In every watch along, I've cried and I bawled. Oh my God. I love that line. I use that line when I'm teaching. I'm teaching like future educators. That's the power that you have as a hero, to just inspire someone by a simple act of kindness. That's what Batman is. That's what being a hero is. To inspire someone to be better and to do good things. And even a simple act like putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders to let him know when his world had left him, his world hadn't ended. God, I love that line. I love that frickin' line. And in the theater, I'm bawling. Because it's like, they're gonna do it. This has never happened before in movies, in TV. He's gonna sacrifice himself. And I remember holding her hand and just thinking like, yeah, this is the end. This is how it was supposed to end for him. There was no way it was going to end any differently. So say what you want about this film. If it doesn't hit you, if it doesn't hit you here, if you don't like it, these last 10 minutes is some of the best in the whole Dark Knight trilogy. This last 10 minutes is perfect. This is what I wanted from this movie. This part right here. Not this part. But then it slowly just pans over his shoulder, and we see the Waynes.
I'm so sorry. I failed you. You trusted me, and I failed you.
You tried. You tried.
It was the Batman.
And that's what Nolan does so well, bringing everything full circle and having that repetitive line delivery. He was never put on trial, though. I think we still need a little trial here with Gordon. To be Alfred and to outlive all the Waynes. How do you think that makes him feel?
You should use your full name. I like that name. Robin.
What? And at this point, in the theater, like, I'm holding her hand, and I'm realizing, like, wait a minute. Whoa, what? What? Oh, and I love this theme. It's the same ending theme from The Dark Knight. It just sounds so hopeful. And then you see that, and then it cuts to that, and all of a sudden you remember 2.5 hours ago, that story from Alfred, and you go, no, oh my God, no way, how did he get out? Bruce Wayne entered the cave from the little pit, through the dirt. Robin comes in through the waterfall, being baptized into this world. But here he is with the bat scene, just like Bruce Wayne. God, I have a smile on my face, because I love this ending. Because it ends this trilogy perfectly. And it's fixed. The symbol is back. The symbol of hope is back. He's alive. Nope. I'm good. That's all the holiday I need. That's great. And then the reason why it's called The Dark Knight Rises. The new Dark Knight is literally rising from the water, from the ashes. That is the best trilogy to ever be made. It is my favorite. In my opinion, it's my favorite. I love Batman, and I just love how the presentation of this Batman is in like a realistic sense in the world. So I was talking earlier in the review that there were 3 things that I wanted when I went into this movie, because I was just so hyped for it. There were 3 things that I wanted. I wanted Joseph Gordon-Levitt to be Robin, or Dick Grayson, whatever. I wanted Marion Cotillard to be Talia. Got both of those things. But the thing I wanted the most was I wanted to have a scene at the tombstones of Thomas and Martha Wayne. And I was wanting it to be Bruce. I wanted Bruce to go out there to get, like, inspiration. I think this is better, though, with Alfred going out there and saying, I'm sorry. You trusted me, and I let you down, and I failed you. A little bit mean of Bruce, because he was alive. A little bit mean of him to put him through that, but it all pays off in the end. And what I love about this is that Bruce Wayne gets a happy ending. And we've never gotten that before. We've gotten films where, you know, the good guy has won, where he's beat the villain, and he's saved a life. But there's always that sadness, and that darkness, and that gloominess, that cloud over his head, that responsibility to keep going on with this project. This film sought out to give Bruce Wayne a happy ending. And he did. He inspired someone to carry on the mantle of the Batman. He could move on. He's found someone to spend another life with. That was the whole thing. He's kept himself indoors because he thought there was no one else out there. And you thought at first it was Miranda Tate, but it wasn't. It was Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. It was Selina Kyle that he found happiness in. And she's wearing the pearls at the end. They gave Bruce Wayne a happy ending. And that has never happened before. He can go off. He can stop being Batman. He doesn't need to be Batman anymore. That's The Dark Knight Rises. I love this movie. It's not as strong as the first 2. I will be honest. It's not as strong. If you go back and watch my ranking of all the Batman films, I put it high, but I definitely don't put it up in the top like 3 or 4. But I love this movie. I love it. It's a great ending to a great trilogy. I'm gonna give The Dark Knight Rises 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good.
What do you think about The Dark Knight Rises? What is your ranking of all the Dark Knight films in order of the best Batman film to the worst Batman film? And I know there are people that don't like this movie. I understand, I guess. I see where you're coming from. I'm just not one of those people because I love this movie to death. Whatever you thought, comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.